Hi everyone, I'm Gina K from Gina K Designs and your host of StampTV. Today on StampTV, I'm going to show you how to make a cute Christmas tag featuring the new Sparkling Christmas StampTV kit. Let me show you the tools and products you're going to need to make this card project. First, you're going to need some ink, and the ink that I'm going to use for my first tag is the Versamark ink because I'm going to do some embossing. Then for embossing, I'm using our fine detail white powder, and I have an embossing magic pad. For the stamp, I'm going to use this Merry Christmas greeting. For cardstock, I have a variety of things here. I have some of the cherry red cardstock, the white layering weight cardstock, and some fresh asparagus cardstock, and I also have a few extra pieces of the white layering weight. Then I also have a piece of this glitter fun foam, and you don't have to use this, but if you have it, it just speeds things up a little bit. If not, you can just use regular white cardstock and add a little bit of glitter using a Quickie glue pen and some loose glitter, or a Sakura Stardust pen, or even a Wink of Stella pen. I have a handheld punch, and this one is by Fiskars. Now, you can use any handheld punch. These are available pretty much everywhere in every big box store and also the office supply stores. I have some paper snips here, my Kraft pick, just in case I get some pieces stuck in my dies that I need to get out. I have some mono adhesive, and then I have some gold cording. In the past, this gold cording has been a incentive at Gina K Designs, so a lot of you may already have a roll of this. This is really great for Christmas tags and Christmas projects. And then for dies, I am using the largest circle die in the nesting circles, the scalloped circles. I'm also using one of the snowflake dies that comes in the Sparkling Christmas kit, and then I'm using the Allison's ribbon dies. Now I know a lot of you have these because we have just moved so many of these through our store. I know a lot of you have them, and some of you are waiting for them to come in, and I did just get a shipping notice, so more of these are coming in, and I just had to get rid of those couple little pieces in there. Okay, so to begin, I want to show you a neat way to make a tag if you don't have a tag die or a tag punch. So I just cut a long rectangle here, and I'm going to grab my crossover machine. You can use any die cutting machine you want for this. I love this machine because it puts a lot of pressure on those intricate dies. Okay, and I have the white plate here. Sorry about that, bang. I have the white plate here. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with a regular circle die, and this is the largest nesting die of the nesting circles, the stacker's circles. This is not the layers. The layers are silver. The regular ones are purple. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to just position that so that it's even on both sides, like that. And then I'm going to run it through the machine, but just past that little mark there where the die is going to cut the top of the paper. I think I might have gone a little too far. Nope, I didn't. Okay. So there, now you have a nice top for your tag. All right, this does get a little stuck. Now, I'm going to take a piece of white cardstock and I'm going to cut out one of the scalloped circles. And this is going to be used for a little decorative piece on this tag, so you can cut that out fully. All right. And now I'm going to go back to that first circle die, and I'm going to make sure that one of the scallops is pointing straight up. And then I'm going to lay this circle die just like that. And I'm going to cut that out. See if that's still, oh, I've got some static there. Let's try that again. And if it keeps moving around, I'll just grab some washi tape and tape it down. But I think I'll be okay. All right, we'll do it like that. Okay, and we'll run that through. Okay. So now you can see I have this little semicircle, scalloped semicircle, and I'm going to decorate the top of my tag with this little piece, like that. Okay, so let me put this aside. Now my next step is going to be to use the Allison's ribbons dies, and you have two different plates in this die set. I'm going to use the larger of the two first, and you can vary the colors or make them all the same. For this tag, I'm going to make them all the same, and then I have a couple other samples to show you where I varied the colors. Okay, so I'm going to cut this one. Now I like to make this cut just a little bit tighter on the machine, so I just wound that down a little bit. If you don't have a crossover machine, then what you can do is just add a piece of cardstock in there just to shim it up a little bit. Okay, and I go back and forth a couple times to really get all the details cut. You can see they just fall right out. And I'll put these all aside for later. One little tip I wanted to show you is when you have all these little pieces in here, sometimes if you just bend it and run your finger across it, they all come out really fast. So just kind of bend it and run your nail right across the back there. Isn't that kind of cool? Okay, so the one I'm going to use though for this particular card is this scalloped border. And that kind of coordinates nicely with this little piece that I already cut out. So I'm going to put that aside and then put all these aside because I'll use these for other projects. Then next I'm going to cut the smaller of the two plates using, again, a piece of white cardstock. Because like I told you, this set is going to be more monochromatic. All right, and the same thing, I have it a little bit tighter, the machine, and you can always use that paper shim if you need to. And I'm going to go back and forth like that. Okay. And then the one that I want to use is, let's see, I think I'll use this little heart one. So if you have trouble getting it out, just use your Kraft pick and get it started. And then it should peel right off, so I'm going to use that one. And I'll take these other ones out later. Now I also want to use this piece of fun foam, this glitter fun foam with my snowflake. And like I said, if you don't have this, just use white cardstock, or maybe you have silver cardstock. You can use all kinds of different things. You can use glitter. And again, I'm going to cut that out. I like to run it back and forth a couple times on any die that's intricate. And you can see that's a nice cut. That'll come right out. And then this should come out pretty easily. And if you're using the fun foam, you might notice that some of these little pieces get stuck in there, so just use a Kraft pick or something to pop them out. You can just pull those out. So there is my little sparkly snowflake. I love that snowflake. It's so pretty. Okay, so let me move this machine out of the way. Get it out of here. All right, and now we're going to work on the assembly for this tag. Now, I'm going to start by adding that little scalloped edge to the top. And I'm going to do that with a little bit of the mono dot adhesive. And you can use any kind of adhesive. Some of you may prefer using a Quickie glue pen, something like that. That is just fine. Okay. So I'm going to just kind of tack it down there and then kind of play with it a little bit till it looks straight. Alright, that looks pretty good, like that. And then I'm going to use my paper snips and just cut right along the side of the tag to get off the excess. So now I have a pretty little decorative edge at the top. And if you get any glue on the surface of your borders or anything, I'm going to use my finger here, but that's not really that effective. The best thing to do is to use an eraser, or you can use a sanding block if you get something on there that is kind of makes it look dirty. Just use a little sanding block and just sand it off. Okay, so now I'm going to take this piece of cherry red cardstock and I'm going to emboss my greeting on there. So I have the Merry Christmas greeting and some Versamark ink. Let me turn this over. This is kind of a small stamp. Well, it's not really a small stamp, but it's a little bit difficult to ink upside down. And you can put this anywhere. I'm going to put it right in the center. Like that. And then add a little bit of embossing powder, and I have just a piece of scrap paper here folded in half. That makes it easy to funnel that embossing powder back into the jar. So let me get that out of the way. Okay, now I need my heat tool for this, so I'm going to heat it up for just a second, make it nice and hot, and then we'll emboss that. Our fine detail powder is so nice, it really captures all of that delicateness in these greetings in this stamp set. I don't know if delicateness is a word, but I'm going with it. Okay, and then this piece is going to mount onto this white piece of cardstock. So, make sure that's dry. And I will put those pieces together. All right, and then this whole piece is going to go onto the side here of this fresh asparagus tag. Now you can do straight up and down tags, or you can do tags that are sideways like this. And tags can be used for so many things. Obviously, they can be used for putting on gifts, but you can also make really pretty tags and then use them as the focal image for a card. So there, we have that done. Now I'm going to add this strip right across the top of the tag like that. So I'm going to add some adhesive. Let me pick that up. I'm just going to go right over that white part. Like that, and cut away the excess again. Okay. And now I'm going to decorate that using these little white hearts from the inside piece of the Allison's ribbons. So I will add that to the center here. And again, trim off the excess. And I'm going to decorate the bottom too with some of that. And this way you're going to be able to see the red shine through. You can do it that way, or you can cut it very close to the edge. I think I'll do that for this. So let's put a little tape on the back. And I'll start right there. And then I'm going to get my paper snips under there. And cut off that excess. So that gives it a little bit of pizzazz at the bottom of the tag or the side of the tag. Now for that snowflake, this is kind of a big snowflake for a tag and kind of blocks a lot. So I wanted to show you that you can do a lot of really neat things with these snowflakes. You can make them different sizes just by trimming off the first part of the snowflake like this. You have a much smaller snowflake, but it's still very pretty, very delicate, and it will coordinate with bigger ones. So if you wanted to do this all over, a card for a background of snowflakes, you could do that and mix them. You can also take it all the way down to this last one just by cutting that one off too. So that's really pretty there. And you could keep these if you want. I mean, you might be really creative and want to line them all up and make a border across the bottom of your tag like that. So keep all those little pieces. They're fun to use. And that I'm going to put right up on the side there. But before I do that, I want to punch a hole, and I'm going to use this handheld punch, and I want to punch it right in the center, or as close to the center as I can get. There we go, like that. And then I'm going to add this piece of twine. So I'm going to fold it in half and push it through the back, open it up, and then feed the tail ends through. So it's like that. And then I'm going to add just a little bow at the top here. So I'm just going to kind of hand tie a bow, a double bow. Let's see let me try that one more time for you. See if I can get that a little bit better. Did you guys hear that? That's Periscope. Somebody's on Periscope. Oh my goodness. Okay. And I'm just going to cut those little extra tails off. So now that can be applied to my gift or to the front of a card. And then for this little snowflake, I'm just going to add a little bit of adhesive to the back. It's a little hard to add it onto the fun foam, but if you're careful, you won't tear it. I'll just put that right there. And so that is my finished tag. Now let me show you a couple other things that I did here. I also made a tag that's straight up and down, and you can see I varied. The layout's exactly the same, so if you have the measurements, you can make all of these. But what I did here is I varied the Allison's ribbon dies. I used fresh asparagus on the bottom and then added a little bit of white on the top. And again, I used the other snowflake and cut it down. That one comes in the kit. And I grabbed a little bit of Kraft baker's twine for that one and put some glitter onto the trees. And then here's a non-traditional colored tag. This one I used the prickly pear and the edible eggplant. Then I colored that little snowman in with some like an alcohol marker, and then added a little bit of glitter to him so you can see that he shines. And I just stamped a snowflake on instead of cut one out, which is kind of cute too. This one might be a little bit better for the top of a gift, or it could be used for focal image as well. So those are 3 little tags that I made using the Sparkling Christmas StampTV kit. The only thing that I added to that were the dies and whatever kind of twine or ribbon I had laying around. So I used the gold twine and the baker's twine, but you could also use thin ribbon for that. So those are my finished tags. I hope you've enjoyed today's StampTV video. Stay tuned to StampTV for more projects featuring the Sparkling Christmas StampTV kit, and thanks so much for watching.